Hi, I'm hoping to show you how to do sun rays coming through these trees as an effect. I've opened the forest original picture. Let's just unlock the background. We could always make a copy of the background. We don't need to, but if we wanted to, we could just drag it down to the new layer button like that and release. And we get new layer copy. First thing we want to do is select all these light areas where the sun is coming through the trees. And to do that, we're going to use select and color range up here. This will allow us to sample colors in a bunch of different ways. If we use the eyedropper tool, we can actually click on different parts of the image and you'll see the kind of selected area change and grow as we move around the image. Now, this is something you can use creatively in all sorts of ways, but we're not doing that today. We're just going to pick highlights from this drop down list, and you see immediately with the settings I've got it on, we've got pretty much all the areas we want selected, but turning these up or down we can expand or reduce the selection. But that honestly looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to go OK to OK my selection, and you can see it's got the marching ants. Now I want to duplicate this selection onto a new layer. To do that, I can press Ctrl J, and it doesn't look any different. If I hide my background layers, then you can just about make out the areas we've selected, which is good. Now with the selected area still selected, we can call this highlights. Just double click on the word and go highlights. We want to blur the selection, so I'm going to go up to filter, down to radial blur is what I'm looking for. Filter, blur, radial blur. There we have it. Okay, we've got a visualization of the blur area, and we've got different blur methods. Initially, we're going to set quality to draft, and then we're going to set blur method to zoom. These aren't my teeth. Blur method. And I'm going to turn up the radial blur all the way to the top. You see how these lines grow. And then I'm going to press OK. And you can see it's done this effect. But I want to change it. So because I've applied it, I can't do that. So I'm going to step back and do Ctrl Z to step back and undo it. Now, how can I make it so I can adjust my settings? Well, we've got a clever way. We can turn this layer into a smart object. So if I right click it and choose Convert to Smart Object, we get the little icon in the corner which tells us that the layer is now smart. And again, if I go to Filter, Blur, Radial Blur, and click OK. Again, we've got the effect, but now because it's a smart object, I can double click Radial Blur and bring it back up. Now, the reason I want to bring it back up is my sun is in the wrong position. If you can just about make out these rays, they're meeting just about here, and I think they need to be more up here. So I can move the center of this up. Let's try there. Click OK, and it re-renders it. I'm thinking it needs to come a little bit to the left to kind of match up this shadow. So again, I'm going to click Radial Blur, just move it a shade to the left and click OK. I'm fairly happy with that, but you can see it's quite a grainy effect at the moment. This is because of the mode we set here, where we set the quality to draft. Draft gives you a rough idea of how it looks, but it'll render it quickly. Now I'm happy with the position. I'm going to select Best and click OK. And you see it thinks about it and takes a little bit longer, but now we have a much cleaner sunray effect. But it's kind of hard to see. So what can we do about that? We can multiply the layer, but simply duplicating it. If I select my layer, I've got the option of either dragging it down to the new layer button, which will make a copy of it. And you see it's already much stronger. Or I can press Control J to do exactly the thing. And now we have, say, 3 copies of that. I think 3 is looking quite good. Now, what I'd like to do is merge these down into a single layer. Now, what we can do is we can shift select them. So I'm holding down the shift key. So I've got all those 3 selected, and I could go to layer, merge layers, which would do a perfectly good job. But because we're using new Photoshop and we're living in the future, we've got a better way of doing it. If I right click and do convert to smart object like we did before, now it's combined all these 3 layers into one smart object. Now the advantage of this technique, if I double click on the smart symbol, then I can open the smart object as in a new window, and I've got access to all 3 of these things, so I can go back and make changes if I need to, which is good because the goal of Photoshop is to work non-destructively. Right, so we've got our highlights. I can turn my background layer off because that's not doing anything. What I would like to do now is blur some of these sun rays, because the pin's sharp here, and I think it would look slightly more attractive if these are a bit blurry. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to go to filter. I've not got my layer selected, so selected now. Filter, blur, blur gallery, field blur. Now this is quite a new feature in Photoshop. You get this little target icon. Now I want to move the center of my blur to, I think, where I've got the sun, which is about here. And you see the whole image is now blurred. You've got this little wheel which lets you turn the blur up and down, which is quite nice. So you can go very, very blurred. And I want to turn it all the way down to nothing in the center. So I don't want the center of my image blurred. I've turned it all the way up, not all the way down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Will it go to 0? There, blur 0. So we're completely unblurred. Now, what I'm able to do, when I move my cursor away from this, I get like a push pin. So I can click there, and now I've got a second sort of focal point. Now, this will allow me to adjust the blur around this point. So if I turn this to 10, then we've got quite a sharp effect here, but it blurs as it comes out. So I'll click over here and do the same thing on this side, and maybe put one here as well. And you can move them around and adjust them till you get a pleasant effect. These give some good effect too. We're not using them on this, but you can put these kind of effects in. Always have a mess around with the other sliders, see what they do, because you can stumble on some great effects if you're lucky. Now, once you're happy with the blur effect, click OK to put it on, and we're doing quite well now. But there's some areas where I'm getting light rays in places I don't really want them. Okay, not sure I want them overlapping all the trees. So what I want to do is use a layer mask to hide some of these things. So I've got my layer selected, and I'm going to click the layer mask button to make a mask. Now it's a white layer mask, so I shall be drawing on it in. That's right, black. So I can switch between black and white using this two-headed arrow. If your colours aren't black and white, you can click on the little tiny thing there to reset them. But I needed it to be black, and I want to pick a brush, and I want it to be a soft brush with a nice gentle edge, and I want to make it smaller so I can move it up and down with the slider there, but I can also use the square brackets. So I want to get rid of my shadow here, so I'm going to just click outside the image, then I'm going to hold shift, which lets me constrain the brush downwards. Nothing happened there, and nothing happened there because my opacity and my flow were too low. Opacity is how opaque something is, transparent, and flow is kind of how much ink is coming out of your spray gun. So let's try that again and just drag down. And it just clears up some of these areas where we don't want the rays going over everything. So my brush is a little bit big there, so I'm just going to reduce it with the square brackets. Holding down shift and just drag down. I think that's pretty good. We shall leave that there. Thank you for watching.